tonight, because tonight we're actually announcing the winner of the scholarship. So first of all, we'd love to know who has joined in, who's watching, and is any of the scholarship nominations, are they watching themselves? So maybe just kind of like right beside your name that you're one of the nominees up for the prize tonight. So the prize is going to be that whoever is picked tonight is going to get free access, all the materials, all the flowers, absolutely everything that's included in our Module 1 professional online program, as well as Module 2, Module 3 and Module 4. So basically they're going to be with us for the entire training of their floristry career. So we're really looking forward to it, and I know Deirdre has lots of information to maybe Deirdre, you might come on camera there now.
Come on.
And a lot of us haven't seen Deirdre in ages.
Hello.
So she's going to give us a little bit of information about some of the nominees.
And first of all, because we're not just giving away the scholarship.
Are we not?
No.
What
no. So, well, you know how hard it has been for us to pick.
Yeah.
Like, we had 11. We whittled this house and down
Are you
to
giving it
11.
to all 11, Deirdre?
No,
Yeah.
thank God.
Okay.
I'm not feeling that generous. But to get it down, and we had so many people watching videos, reading through stuff, helping us decide who was going to win it, and it was really hard.
It was really difficult. Yeah.
So what I've decided, so obviously we're going to have our overall winner who's going to win the full scholarship, €3,500 worth of a prize, but we're also going to give the runner up a Module 1 programme. So we're going to give away one Module 1 programme to one other person.
That's excellent. You're very good, you know.
I'm actually even better than that.
Are you not?
I am. Wait till you hear.
Do you know what, she's firing all this on me tonight. I didn't know any of this, but go on. I thought I was on here to do a Flower demonstration.
Again, like, so of the 11 people, and people have watched the 11 videos, we posted them, we put them up on the website. There was so much effort. Like, they went to so much bother. So we're giving them all a €200 voucher to use off their Module 1 course this year. So we will email that to you over next week.
Do you know what? Do you know, you're the best in the world. You really are. But well, give us a bit. No, you have to give me a bit of information there.
Okay, let's have a look and see who.
So who was one of the first nominee?
One of the first nominees we had Rebecca, and Rebecca was from Southwest London.
I remember her.
She's a mum to one daughter. She grew up in Sri Lanka. She turned 50 last year. She doesn't look a day over 29.
She only looks 40.
She's actually has already started her own business, which is Becca Blooms. So if anyone is watching on Instagram and wants to tag Becca Blooms, please do that. And she does flower arrangements, and she is selling stuff. But what she really wants to do is to improve her skills, her techniques. She wants to learn what she can't learn from YouTube. And we all know YouTube is amazing. And I know we're watching out on YouTube here at the moment. But and
like, we do courses on YouTube, free courses. Like, you can just follow us on YouTube and you can avail of all the free courses, but they're not the same as the online professional courses, because obviously on YouTube it's free, and with the professional courses you're paying. So you're learning all the nitty gritty, all the tips, all the tricks, all the behind the scenes that nobody ever tells.
My favourite flower was the rose. She says nothing compares to the rose. Actually, it was one of the favourite flowers for most people.
Yeah, they also pick the rose.
Michelle and Skerry. So Michelle and Skerry, she's a paediatric nurse, so a children's nurse. She actually had her daughter interview her for the video.
I remember that
really,
one. Yeah,
really
that
good.
was brilliant.
And she's worked all through the pandemic, looking after all the little sick babies. She returned to study and did a degree in 2019. She loves flowers. She believes flowers bring positivity for your mind, for your body, for your health. And again, red roses is her favourite flower, and she had a full bouquet of red roses for her wedding. Then we had Deirdre. I'm only going to do 3 for now, and then I'll go off. Then we had Deirdre. Great name, Deirdre. She's from Trim in County Meath. She actually started her own flower business in the pandemic. Like, the pandemic has brought out so much in different people.
Absolutely.
It's called Flower Box Trim. So again, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, go follow Flower Box Trim. She'd initially started out making flowers for the elderly and frontline workers. She's self-taught, and she's actually built a really good business. She's now even got wedding bookings in. She worked in her local flowers for TY. She says that was the people that influenced her the most. And Lizzie Antis is her favourite flower.
That's an unusual one to be. It's actually one of our favourites.
It is one of our favourites here.
So that's the first three of the nominees. So if you're watching, comment below, and obviously tag your business, and Deirdre will come back on in a couple of minutes and she'll tell us the next 3 nominees. And as I said, there's one overall winner, And then we have one where Deirdre's actually going to give them a free Module 1 course. Now also Sue Whale, and if any of you has joined us during the week, we had Sue Whale from the UK, who actually is the author of these books, actually of the 3 of them here. So Cut Flowers, Cut Foliage, and also House Plants. And these are the conditioning and treatment books that we always recommend our students to purchase. And I'm always slagging Sue, saying that we have the older versions, and she sent me out the updated versions, you know the way, and it's amazing, there's a lot more flowers in these books that wasn't in the old books.
Guess who we have watching?
Who's watching?
We have Heather Betsy. She's the previous scholarship winner here. She says, good luck to everyone. Your life is going to change.
Oh, brilliant, Heather. So Heather was one of our scholarship winners when we were 30 years in business. We're actually 35 years in business this year, which is why we decided to run a second scholarship. And Heather now has her own business called Flower Pop. She's a wedding specialist. Obviously, she's a flower shop as well. And she does lots of events. She does flower crown parties for hens parties. And maybe, Heather, you might post your link underneath there for anybody that wants to follow you over on Instagram or over on Facebook. Anyway, back to Sue Whale. Sue Whale contacted us today, and what she has offered is the winner of the scholarship tonight. She's actually going to present them with a full set of these books, okay? Now, as I said, these books are amazing. We recommend all our students to purchase these books. Now, maybe if Sue Whale is watching...
She is.
Fair play. Because I need you to help me here. Heather was supposed to turn up tonight, but she let us down, she did. We're down.
No, our husband let us down.
And the other one has COVID over in Scotland. So we're talking about fecking up the programme here tonight. So Sue might put her link in the comments below there. She'll pop over to Instagram as well. She has her own publishing company, her and her husband, called Jago Publishing. Order the books direct through them. Don't buy them off Amazon. Go direct to Sue, and she signs all the books then personally for you. So there's a set of them books going to whoever wins the scholarship this evening.
Which we'll announce later on. We have to give them all a little bit of a...
And you know what's going to happen? You're going to have somebody moaning, they're
talking too much.
There's always a load of moans. Anyone that moans and says, I'm talking too much, you're just going to get blocked. Anyway, do you know what? We've loads of exciting news today. We won Floral Educator of the Year. So over the past week, 10 days, we've been on here absolutely hounding everybody to get nominated for it, and then obviously to give us your vote. And fair play to you, we have the most amazing followers, amazing past students, future students and present students, and listen, the support was just phenomenal. And we actually won Floral Educator of the Year for the 2nd year running. So as Deirdre said, we're trying to do the 6 in a row, you know, like what the Dubs has, and just in case there's anybody from Mayo listening, okay? So the Dubs have 6 in a row with the football, so hopefully Case Flower School, we're working towards that. So we're 2 in a row so far, so we're as proud as punch. And you said you were giving some giveaways for that.
We are, just in front of you. We're going to have little spot prizes, so in your envelope could be one of those things.
Okay, so you could get some. These are the deco beads. You know, the beads that swell up, the swell gel, I would call it. The stem strippers, these are absolutely brilliant. And obviously sachets of flower food for feeding your flowers. So these are all like little spot prizes throughout the evening. Don't know how we're going to work out price, how we're going to pick the winners for that. But you know one funny thing, okay, and it just cropped up today, and maybe keep it in mind, okay, for later on this evening. But when I was on during the week begging for, you know, nominations and a little bit of support, I was saying to everybody, like, this was an American award, Intrigue Awards 2022. And as I said, it was an American award, and we were up against the big shots. So we were 1 of 5, we were, you know, and I was kind of on camera and I was saying, like, we are Mickey Mouse, like, we're tiny, inchy, tiny weeny, tiny among the other 5, you know that way. And one of the students this morning sent me a picture of Mickey Mouse, and she had no small Mickeys in Case Flower School. So I just thought it was brilliant, you know that way. We actually put it up on our Instagram, so no small Mickeys here tonight, okay? So for anyone that's listening. So I did promise that we would do a flower arrangement as well. So this is a container. I think I showed this container this morning. We picked it up in Harold Ellen's. It's one of their new range that's in. And in case anybody's wondering about the floral foam, how is it so big? What I have here is This is a half of a jumbo block, okay? Obviously the other half is in the container here. So these are massive big blocks of foam that a lot of you may not realise that you can actually purchase, okay? And they're for making like larger arrangements, but also the floral foam itself is much, much stronger. So a lot of people think that you can only get your standard blocks, but just to be aware, they do have what's called jumbo blocks. Now don't mix them up with jumbo sheets. Jumbo sheets or designer sheets are a completely different thing altogether. So basically I have that cut, you want to see the size of the knife, I have that cut, trimmed, soaked and it's strapped in. And also when I was strapping it in, I used the wider anchor tape instead of the thin anchor tape. So again, a lot of you may not be aware that you can actually buy a thicker version of it. So again, just kind of a few little tips there as we go along. You something to say?
No, you're grand. No, I'm just trying to look at the comments that are coming in because they're flying in.
Like a lot of you know, we use Wicklow Foliage Farm. Somebody might tag them there in the comments. Obviously they're based in Wicklow, Stuart Williams, and he has the Pussy Willow in stock. And like that's what a bunch of Pussy Willow looks like, and I'm going to use some of that in the display tonight. So between our big Mickeys, little Mickeys and lots of Pussy Willow, I tell you, it's all go here at Case Flower School tonight. Plus flower wise, I'm going to use the Rose Lillies or the Double Lilies. A lot of you were mad about them. Great lasting flower, fabulous scent and absolutely no pollen on them. So they're a bit like seedless grapes, no pips at all. Foliage wise, I'm going to use a little bit of our Silver Sussex. I'm going to use a little bit of box foliage, that's because that's what Stuart Williams had this week. And then Deirdre brought me in a couple of the Fatsy leaves from her garden. Now I know I showed this a couple of weeks ago, but just for anybody that maybe missed it, normally what I do with Fatsy leaves, about 3-4 centimetres up there at the back, I do a little stitch in the leaf, okay? I bring the wire through, I bend the wire, both wires down around the stem, and I wrap one wire securely around the stem and also around the other piece of wire. And it gives me a little bit of manoeuvring with the Fatsy leaf, you know what I mean? That I can kind of bring it up forward, or I can bend it or curve it. So again, to save time, you have a lot of them done for me already.
I have, yeah.
She has. And she just brought in one whopper. As we said, no small Mickeys here tonight. So here we have a whopper of a Fatsy leaf, or a lot of people call them Aurelia leaves. Both names actually do. And it just kind of gives you an idea how big they can grow in your garden. But you normally find as a florist, you keep picking them, do you know, that sort of way. And it's great that you have a variation of sizes.
We have Celine, we have Heather, and we have Caroline who are tagging Wicklow Foliage Farm for us. So thanks so much for that.
Brilliant. I really, really appreciate it. And if we have any garden centres on that have Fatsy's Aurelia leaves plants for sale, please tag yourself. I know Mylands in Galway, they always have them, and Rockbarton Garden Centre, they always have them. So again, if there's anybody watching or even a flower shop watching, especially if you deliver them, do you know, that way, tag yourself underneath there, put the details, your phone number, and at least people can then contact you. Okay, what else am I using tonight? I have a little bit of like just sprayed birch twig, and again this came from Wicklow Foliage Farm. So again, you'll get the tag up just up above there, pop up the page there, and you can contact them. They're found on Facebook and on Instagram, and they have trade prices and they have retail prices depending on which way you're buying.
Sharon wants to know, can I go to your gym? You both look amazing.
Thanks. Thanks a million. I tell you, as you know, it's 2 weeks on Monday to the wedding, so we are slogging like mad. Went out for lunch with Heather today, and she had a plate of chips. But we didn't eat the chips.
No, we didn't eat the chips.
No, we were really good. We had the Caesar salad, we did. But listen, Heather is budding a little baby. She is. She's more than budding, I'd say. She's blooming. She is. Absolutely looks fantastic, she does. And congratulations to her. So, and it's going to be a little girl. You know that girl. Which is really, really nice. And a fabulous little sister to Sid, who she has already. A gorgeous little boy, Sid. So I'm going to start at the back of the arrangement. So like this is going to be the back of the arrangement facing you. And I have, as I said, some of this kind of like sprayed birch twig. Now this one has a tint of green off it, okay? So he does have it in snow white if you're interested. And he has it in pinks and blues and reds and golds and silver at Christmas time. But this one has kind of a tinge of, you know, and I just thought it would work well. Can they see the lilies in the camera there?
Yeah, just about,
I just thought it would work well with the colour of the lilies. They kind of have kind of a greeny hue. And also the top of this pot has a little bit of kind of like a teal, kind of a huey kind of green tint of it. So that's why...
Somebody says a castor oil plant. It's not a castor oil. Sure, it's not.
No, it could be part of the same family. Now, we're not horticulturists, but Sue Whale there, she is our expert on the line. You see, we bring in all the experts from all over the world. So we have our own personal expert in the comments below there. So Sue Whale, any information on, is it part of the castor oil family? Is it the same? I know Erwin is an outdoor version of it, and I'm sure it's all in the book. And I'm sure if they buy the book,
they'll know.
They'll get all the information. So whoever put that up, all you have to do is buy the cut foliage book from Sue Whale and you get all the information, because I know the factory plant is in that book. Okay, I'm now just kind of stepping forward slightly with a few more stems of this twig. And this is just going to give me a little bit of movement in the arrangement, okay? And again, just kind of random different heights. And you'll notice that I try not to concentrate on the one section of floral foam all the time. That's a mistake, people. They always go to the middle. Everybody is obsessed with the middle. And the other thing that people do with these arrangements is they kind of place them in on an angle, with one going to the east and one going to the west. Now, I know any of the younger people watching here tonight, they won't have a clue what I'm talking about. But anybody in the same age bracket as ourselves, do you remember the bunny's ears on top of the telly? Like sometimes your parents had to make it with a coat hanger if they were really, really poor. We used to have a coat hanger on our telly. But they used to have this like little circle thing, and there was one wire going east and one wire going west, and it was on top of the telly, and you could get RTE 2 if you had it. Because we only had, I think, 3 channels when we were kids. BBC, RTE and RTE 2 if you had the bunny's ears, you know, that way. So when people are making their flower arrangements with me here at the school, I'm always warning them, we do not want the bunny's ears. We're on Sky Movies, our satellite here at the school, so everything is going up straight. And also because these are kind of thickish, that you're sticking into the floral foam, if you concentrate a lot of the stems in the same area, you are going to collapse your floral foam, do you know, that way? 2 holes beside each other make a big hole. 3 holes beside each other make a feckin' big hole, do you know that way? And 4 holes, you have a feckin' big problem on your hands.
Noreen wrote she still has bunny's ears. Joanne Palfman said they had a coat hanger as well, and so did Celine.
Well,
Fleur Shedder said, no, Janette, you're giving your age away.
But this is it, like some of the young ones here like are probably saying, what is she talking about? I was laughing this morning in the Bloom Room. Did you see the comments from, I think it was Yvonne? She wanted to know what was the joke about the pampas grass. You know, that way she didn't get it, you know. So you know the way when you're on Facebook, am I pronouncing it right? The GIF? The GIF?
GIF, yeah.
The GIF. So I kind of put a little picture of 2 kids on swings, and then I had a picture of somebody else sitting, a dog sitting on a swing, you know the way, but she got it eventually. So for anybody that's watching tonight and that's a bit slow, if you have pampas grass in your garden, it's a sign that there's a swingers party on there. So get out there and dig up that pampas grass.
Unless you want it.
Unless you want a swingers party, absolutely. If you want a swingers party, put your name and address there in the comments and we'll organise it. So what I'm going to add now is just a couple of stems of the pussy willow, again to give us a little bit of movement, and it's in season at the moment, and if you leave the pussy willow in water, what'll happen is it'll kind of turn into like a flower basically.
Sandra Fitzpatrick is watching it. She's one of our finalists. She says, my nerves are gone watching for the winner.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry about that, you know that way, like it is, but it is exciting. And as Deirdre said, she has a voucher for anybody who doesn't actually win tonight, because obviously normally we say there can only be 1 winner, but as you say, there's going to be 2
There's going to be 2.
You know
there is going to be 2.
So that's all I've done, is I've just kind of brought up a couple of stems of the birch with a couple of stems of the pussy willow in between it. And this is something that maybe you could like work around what you happen to have in your garden. Like again, it doesn't have to be the birch twig. It could be maybe a smaller branch, small twig that you have in your garden that maybe is just coming into bud, you know, that way. Or maybe, I see a lot of the gardens have the magnolia in flower at the moment.
It's fabulous,
it's just
isn't it?
amazing.
And the cherry blossoms are in flower.
Blossoms. So again, like even a branch of cherry blossom coming up at the back, just make sure that it's well anchored down into the floral foam. And if it's quite a thick stem, cut it on a slant like a dagger, you know, that way. Cut it on a point that direction and that direction, that it's really going to anchor way down into the floral foam. So I'm going to start at the bottom of this container with a very short stem of the Rose Lillies. Go on.
Okay, so Sue has says Fatsia, aka Aurelia, or Japanese Aurelia, is in the Araliaceae family. Castor oil plant is Rhynchineus, and that's cleared that up. So they are 2 different plants.
Brilliant,
okay.
Brilliant. I told you we have experts here. If you have any more questions, now I don't know about the swingers. Have we any experts out there on the swingers? Just come back to us there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start down kind of like low on the floral foam, and I kind of position this stem where our buds in underneath and our slightly open head just kind of like slightly above it. So the idea would be that the open head is obviously going to be the first one to die, but obviously then our buds kind of will replace it underneath. Another little trick is I have it towards the centre, but it's ever so slightly to the left hand side, okay? Because what I'm going to do now with my next stem of lilies is step just, I want one with two, yeah, I think I'm going to use this one here, is I'm going to step slightly above it, but I'm going to step in behind it. Now, if you tuned in there a couple of weeks ago, I actually gave a class on doing this using the sunflowers, you know, that way. So you can always kind of like scroll back through our Facebook page and find that class, because it's actually like it was a good class, wasn't it, Deirdre? And
it was actually.
It was, and it was given kind of step by step kind of tricks. So just turn this around now. So there's our second stem of lilies. You can see the way I stepped in behind, but can you see the way it's a slight bit over to one side?
Okay, so this is a really good point now from Sue. She says, do you know what causes holes in floral foam?
Sticking flowers in the wrong way.
Indecision.
Oh, indecision.
Absolutely,
yeah, you're dead right.
Just go for it.
Just go for it. And sure, if it's wrong, it's wrong. And I always kind of feel you can work around a mistake.
Joanne says she can't look at her neighbour's house anymore. She thought she sees it's a pampas.
Do you know, just tonight when it's dark and your man is sitting under the pampas tree, swinging away there in a swing, with a cigarette and a glass of wine, I tell you, we'll all know what's going on. What about a few more nominees?
A few more nominees. Okay,
let
me see. Okay. We have, so another one of our nominees is Diana, and Diana is from Croydon in the UK. Now, Diana went through a huge ordeal to do her video.
I remember her video was brilliant.
It was really, really good. She actually done voiceover for her video as well. She actually done the Christmas course with us, and we've talked about the Christmas course as well. She loved how Janette changed the name of Silver Sussex. She just renamed it.
Yeah.
She showed us some of the fab designs that she'd made from after doing the Christmas course. And what she wants to do is when she's finished the course, is she wants to demonstrate or to to display at Chelsea.
Brilliant.
So that's
and actually Sue Way is going to Chelsea.
She is. Okay. And the another person we had as a finalist was Debbie from Antigua and Bermuda.
Yeah, she was brilliant.
My God, such a colourful,
stunning girl as well. Stunning.
Wonderful lady. She growing up, she said her mum always had flowers and plants in the house, and that's what gave her the love of flowers. She loves being creative, but what she said is the joy she sees on other people's faces when she gives them flowers, that's what really does it for her. And her favourite flower was the gerbera.
The gerbera, which we call the gerbera, but obviously in Antigua, they call it, I don't even know how you pronounce Antigua, they call it the gerbera, so we were laughing at that, we were.
And the last one for now is Sinead, and Sinead is from Limerick. Sinead was lovely. She actually got so emotional during her video.
I thought she was going to start crying.
Yeah. Her love of flowers started when she used to go to the garden centre with her mum to buy bedding plants for their own garden, and sadly her mum passed away way too soon. She works as a gardener, but she says she wants to hang up her boots and get in out of shite weather.
Absolutely. Nothing
nice
like
stuff.
getting in out of shite weather.
So that's 3 more, and I'll let you go on there then.
Brilliant. Okay, so Deirdre was saying to remind you about the Christmas course, and we're inundated with people asking us, are you going to go back to classroom-based courses? Now, personally, we find the online professional programs are so successful. Like, the students are learning a huge amount more that they never, ever would have learned at a classroom-based course. And plus they have the advantage of being able to re-watch the tutorials, where when you do a classroom-based course, you see it once, you go home, and that's the end of it, okay? Where when you do an online course, is you can re-watch it, you know, that way. And when you re-watch it and you still have a question, instead of at a classroom-based course putting your hand up and ask a question, here at Case Flower School, all our students have one-to-one WhatsApp to the tutors, you know, that way. And like at the moment we have, I think, 5 or 6 American students, a New Zealand student, and I don't know how many UK students. And for the students that have full-time jobs during the daytime, like, we're there accessible at night time to them to answer any questions that they have.
Just Diana is on, and it's Antigua and Barbuda. Not Bermuda. I said Bermuda. Barbuda. I can't read my own writing. And they love us both in pink as well. Just okay, off you go. Keep going.
So what we're going to do on Saturday the 3rd of December, so write that down, okay? We are going to have a classroom-based Christmas course. So anybody that would like to come along, learn how to make their own Christmas door wreath, and also we'll have some demonstrations on the day. And the reason we're picking the 3rd of December, it means that you can make your own Christmas wreath, bring it home, hang it on your knockers, and you're all set for Santa then at Christmas Day. So all the details of that is on the website, and maybe if Sinead has
posted it now, yeah.
Okay, she might put the link there. And again, if you just click on the link that Sinead has posted, it'll bring you to the Christmas details. Now, for anybody maybe that wants to maybe learn that little bit more, we still are going to do our Christmas online program, but that's going to start on the 1st of November. It'll be a month long. It'll still have the Bloom Room, and there's loads more information, and you'll get that on the website. Now, what are we giving away tonight, okay, Deirdre?
So tonight we're giving away, so for somebody in Ireland, we're giving away a place on the classroom-based Christmas wreath course, and on
so
somebody,
imagine you're going to come along, you're going to have to meet us
and put up with us,
listen to us, you know that way, and probably buy us a drink, because I hear a rumour
there's a bar there,
a bar in the room that the classroom-based course is. So it's not going to be a real classroom. We're going to turn a pub into a classroom.
Yes,
which I think is going to be much better crack.
And then for somebody who's living outside Ireland, we are giving them a place on the Christmas course. The online course. Anne-Marie said, when you keep going there, Anne-Marie said that her local priest has pampas grass growing in the garden. She'll never be able to look at them again straight.
But you know them priest fellas, I tell you, you know what goes on there. You say no more, say no more. So what again I'm doing here is I'm stepping up just a little bit higher with another stem of lilies, and you can see the way I'm kind of keeping that zigzag motion and just stepping it over to the opposite side. And the thing is, with this design, you can, if you want to, now you know me, I'm always saying rules are there to be broken. So the rules are uneven numbers, okay, as in 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 and 13. But who decided that? Who's turned around and said you can't use 4 or you can't use 6? So sometimes when I'm teaching my students, we keep to the rules, we keep to the principles, we follow the fundamentals. But then sometimes if you feel that it'll work, you know, that way, using a different number or breaking a rule, I'm all on for it. I'm all on for and encouraging everybody to get their own signature style out there. Like, we don't want to turn out flowers that it's like, for anybody in Ireland, you know, Jacob's biscuits, and I love Jacob's biscuits, and there's nothing like a packet of Mikado, and they're pink. But when you open a packet of Mikado, every one of them is identical. They're twins or triplets or quadruples in the package. You know that way, they're identical. When you're a florist, you're not a factory turning out biscuits. You know that way, we don't want all your arrangements to be the same. Now obviously when you're at a class, it is nice to learn the rules and the right way to do it, but then I would kind of say, get swinging, get that pampas grass out there, loosen yourself up a little bit and build up your own signature style.
Okay, we have to decide on a question for the Christmas course. So I think the question will be, earlier on we talked about Mickey Mouse.
And what was the tagline?
When we talked about Mickey Mouse, and we said we were only the Mickey Mouse in the flower industry when it came to the world, when it came to the Intrigue Awards. Yeah. But one of our students done a Mickey Mouse with a tagline. So it's going to be across all platforms. So I want you all to comment and tell us what was the tagline.
And it doesn't have to be identical, you know, that way.
In and around,
you know what I mean? And
it can be big or small.
It can be big or small, like, you know what I mean. We won't be biased when it comes to Mickeys, whether they're big or small. But we want to see some variation of what the tagline was, okay? And that's how you're going to pick Christmas winners, is it, Deirdre?
Yeah, that's how I'm going to, and the spot prizes.
Okay, so while Deirdre was yapping there, and I'm going to get her to call out 3 more nominations in a second, I just added in a 4th stem of lilies. And again, you can see where I've stepped up that little bit higher, and again, I've worked my way slightly over to the opposite side, kind of creating that zigzag. And as I said, for anybody that's maybe a beginner here watching tonight, like, is kind of go back through some of the live videos that I did the week of the Ukraine fundraiser, and I showed you how to position like your 5 sunflowers. And speaking of the Ukraine fundraiser, like, we raised €4,776. So huge thanks to everybody that donated to that. And it was brilliant to see all the people getting involved and making their flower crowns for Ukraine and using the hashtag crowns for Ukraine and pick flowers, not fights. You ready for the next 3?
Yes, we're ready for the next 3. So the next 3 we have listed today. You're hiding behind the...
Yeah, they're sick of looking at me.
That's true.
They want to see you.
We had Noreen. Noreen was from Mallow in County Cork. She's
I remember
her. And Maureen was very much, she finished working, like she gave up her job to take care of her children. And like 4 kids, like that's busy.
I'll tell you, it's easier to go to work now.
It is easier to go to work. She dreams of achieving independence again and starting her own business.
Fair play.
She loved if she could do it at home and watch, and she loves doing the online at home, because remember they did the Flower Crown course.
That's
so
right.
We gave the 25 shortlisted people a Flower Crown course and that they could watch again with the build up to Ukraine, and she loved that. She says that watching it over and over and over again really helped her, and that's what she liked with the online.
She actually was one of the ones. I know there was a couple of them posted the flower crowns, but
Stargazer Lilies is her favourite flower, and she says that the lily is like her, just waiting to bloom.
Ah, that's lovely.
We've Karen in Leitrim. She's full-time mum to Emily Rose, who doesn't be too well at some of the time. So Karen is full-time minding Emily. She did module 1 already, and she would not have been able to do the course if it wasn't online. She says online, again, it suited her lifestyle, taking care of her daughter. She wants to open a flower shop or a flower shop and gift shop.
Remember our other past scholarship winner, Heather Betsy, she's in the comments there. She opened her flower shop just before Christmas. So it's 5 years ago since she won, and now she has worked now for multiple flowers in the meantime.
She wants to open a flower shop with her friend Sharon, who actually nominated her, and Sharon, who does candles as well. And her favourite flowers is also the rose, but she loves wildflowers too. And she loves the wildflower style of flower arrangement.
So that's going to be her signature style.
And then the last one that I'm going to do for now is Rachel, and Rachel is in West Cork, the hubby county. She wants to do her own wedding flowers, but she's not engaged yet.
Is she not? So if we any fellas out there, or women, because we don't know don't know what way she's swinging. So Rachel from West Cork is looking for a partner. Let's be neutral here. So if you're watching Rachel, just if you have a preference, put it in the comments, and she'll listen. Tinder, swipe right, swipe left. We'll get you sorted.
She works in a hospital as well. She's another hospital worker. But she says she's very crafty. She makes crafty frames and flower frames for all occasions. She says her dad is her biggest influencer, and she's a landscape gardener, and her favourite flower is a rose as well.
Brilliant, absolutely. So many more have you got to cover?
2 more to go.
2 more, okay. So maybe I'll get the next Emma Lilies in, and we'll go a little bit further. So our last flower, I'm going to keep to the 5, okay? So I'm going to come up a little bit higher than the original heights that I'm at the moment, and I'm going to keep this one kind of close enough to the centre. So again, where I'm getting my zigzag coming up through the arrangement, and then this will be kind of like my final one, and hopefully it's actually not going to be long enough, so I'm going to have a look for another stem. Let there be no panic, okay? So here we go, we'll come back down here. And sure, if I have to shorten the previous one, I will. No, we're grand. Everything is working. And that's the thing about a live show. You never know what's going to happen. So this is where I brought then my 5th stem just up that little bit higher to kind of give a point, and I've kept towards the centre. So this is the sort of zigzag technique, you know what I mean, that I kind of like teach kind of like a beginner student. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some of the fascia leaves. So we showed you earlier on where we wired some of the leaves, like using the 20 gauge wire. And as it's not necessary to do this, by the way, but it does give you that option of kind of manoeuvring the leaves. So what I'm going to do is cut the stems quite short, and I'm going to bring this one in at the back and keep it in quite close to the birch twigs and our pussy willow there. I'm going to bring kind of one of them in at the very front, but I'm going to curl this one. Can you see that I'm going to curl it? And I'm going to bring it in underneath that bottom lily. So nearly like if my chin was the lily, I'm going to bring the leaf in underneath it there. So we're just going to slide that in underneath. And what you could use instead would be large ivy leaves. So if anybody has some wild ivy growing in their local church, that creasing out pampas grass, I'd say there'd be loads of wild ivy in that church grounds. Would you say so?
Oh, I'd say so, yeah.
And I'm sure he wouldn't mind, you know, that sort of way. You could get some of that, you could wire them, and it would work out the same way. Or another leaf that I find that works is the laurel leaf. You know what I mean? Again, I know it's a completely different shape, but use extras of them. Like, imagine, see like the fingers on your fascia or your aurelia. Imagine each of them was a single laurel leaf. Or again, you could use the laurel like in kind of clumps. So what I'm now going to do is I'm kind of like working my way around. I'm cutting these leaves kind of short enough, you know, that way. And I'm working my way around, kind of making like a collar design, like kind of around the neck of the flowers. And again, this is a design that I have showed our students before. So I'm going to keep them to kind of like, you know, like ideas that I've
Okay,
shown.
Rachel has a man, but he hasn't proposed.
Oh, he hasn't proposed.
Okay.
Well, I tell you, is he on Facebook? If you tag him here, we'll get everybody then to tag him. Do you know that sort of way? And somebody get using them, the gifts, is that what you call it? Engagement rings, wrong hand. Engagement rings, do you take me, I love you. You know that way. And let's get, he's probably a culture, doesn't take a hint.
Well, she was from Cork, isn't it? That was from West Cork,
West, you know,
she's all about it. My own fellow was a bit slow as well, yeah.
You had to propose to your husband, didn't you? You hadn't a clue, he hadn't. He'll kill us now if he's watching. So here I am, as I said, I'm just bringing the fatsiest kind of around there, just kind of giving us a border of leaf. Can you see there? Just at the bottom of the arrangement. But as I said, you could use your laurel or you could use your wild ivy instead. Now what I did before I came on camera here was I got some of our pussy willow and I just looped it over and literally just cut it with a wire at the end. You know that way? So I'll just kind of undo this wire just to kind of give you an idea. So basically just cut lengths of the pussy willow, kind of bent it over, you know that way, cut the two ends together, got a wire, made what I call a hairpin bend.
Julie Crawford wants to know, can we all tag our fellas?
Absolutely, Julie. So let's set up a dating group here.
Kathleen wants to know, did you use leaf shine?
I didn't, but
I did.
Could. Oh, you did? Did you? All right. So Deirdre obviously did. They obviously were filthy, they were, because Kathleen, these are all out of Deirdre's garden. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just making a group of the curly pussies all to one side of the arrangement. So this is giving us some more movement, and I'm going to bring some of them in behind, like one or two of the fatsiest, and one or two of them is going to be in front of it. So again, it's just kind of causing a little bit of confusion, or 3D, you know what I mean, that your arrangements are not flat. And again, that's something I often find with people with their flower arrangements. They nearly make them like a brick wall, you know what I mean? Like that they're kind of one behind the other, dead straight. Like step back, or step forward, you know that way? And give them a little bit of a 3D effect. So again, a couple of little loops of the pussy willow kind of in and out through there, just picking up like the straight pieces that I have, you know that way? And it's something that anybody could copy. And again, it could be other branches or twigs. If they're light enough and flexible enough, the skinny ones will bend over for you, and if you submerge them in water for a little while and then take them out, they'll be after softening, and then you can curl them over, and it'll be real easy then to attach the wire around the bottom of them. So one more there.
Licabella Sandra says she loves the zigzag.
Yeah, it's the basics of flower arranging. It's kind of one of the first rules or principles that people kind of like learn when they do flower arranging. But sometimes, like when you start off, you might have learned it with just 5 large carnations, you know that way, or 5 baby carnations or whatever, a simple flower. And sometimes just by substituting it for a more classier looking flower and adding another little bit of a twist, you know that way, it can make all the difference. If you're going to announce
we're going to
the
last two then. Okay, so the last two we have nominations were for Sandra, and oh God, can you see me? Hello. Sandra's from Finglas over the north side of Dublin. She's passionate about flowers. She loves Jip. Absolutely loves Jip.
And it's gas, like there's so many people out there absolutely hate
She
Jip.
said she wants to work with Jip every day of the week. So there you go. So let's get the Jippy job for Sandra. And then we have Elaine, and Elaine is from Dublin. I can't remember what part of Dublin Elaine is from. I didn't write it down. She says she's arty and creative. She left the corporate world to take care of her family. Her youngest is starting school in September,
so she's
ready to take the plunge. She loves the idea of the online and being able to go back over and over and over again. And cornflowers, wildflowers are her favourite flowers. So that's our 11 nominations, our 11 finalists. So I need to tell you now. Where are you going with that? Nobody can see me.
Sorry. Okay, go on.
You see? She's just jealous.
Skinny bitch.
But no, they're all saying about you looking skinny too. They all want to go to your gym. But yeah, so another probably, what do we say, 5 minutes? How long did it take you to do that?
Have they started moaning that I'm talking too much?
No, they haven't started moaning yet. No. Okay.
All I have to do is bang in a little bit.
So what we might ask them to do is maybe to share the video,
yeah.
So that when we do announce the nominations or the winner,
and
that
even if it's not the nominations,
they can
just get a few fellas.
Even just get a few fellas.
Get a few fellas.
Elizabeth is watching it from Trinidad and she loves it. Elle Gregg says you both look fabulous tonight. Thanks very much.
Thanks a million. Are you looking for a new wife or a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend? So what I have here is our Silver Sussex, as I have named. So again, I bought this in from Wicklow's Foliage Farm, and I'm just going to add again a little bit of it coming in through our loops. And I know some of you might say, oh God, what about all your grouping and so on? Sure, listen, we're breaking all our rules tonight. So again, I'm using this just for a little bit of coverage. You know, like where the Fatsy leaves wouldn't cover like the small, well you could, but it would mean kind of packing it in. So just adding a little bit of a colour. And I love the light kind of silvery colour of the silver Sussex or Sussex silver, because I did see somebody in one of the other groups was saying, what's the proper name of that plant? They were trying to find it and obviously couldn't. And again, you will find out all about the Sussex silver in Sue Wales' book, the Cut Foliage book. So that's just a little bit of that. And also what I have...
Trisha Kenny says, what about the L one in the other bed?
I'll be getting around to her now in a second, Julie. Jackie. So what I have here is also a little bit of variegated pittosporum. And again, the variegated pittosporum, because I kind of have the lime greens and then the white flowers that have the kind of greeny hue off them, they're nice. But listen, whatever you happen to have growing in your garden, whether it be a little bit of eucalyptus or again, wild ivy would actually do in here as well. So it's just a couple of little short bits of pittosporum, and it's more about coverage really here. So a little bit of kind of another texture, and then also a little bit of colour and coverage. And then as Jackie says, we always look after the L1 in the other bed. Now we have lots of nurses watching here tonight, because we've 2 or 3, haven't we, from that are nominees for our scholarship, and they work in hospitals. And you know yourself, when you're in hospital and you're in this bed, there's always some feck or some L1 in the far bed. And that poor L1 has to look at the back of your flower arrangement for the time that she's in hospital. So can you imagine if you all were that L1 in the other bed? That's all you're seeing at the back of the arrangement. So this is where I always say to the students, kind of cover them in, you know, that way, whether it's a little bit of foliage, like covering in your mechanics, covering in your floral foam, covering in your anchor tape, you know, that way, cover all the back of that in. And again, it's great for like little offcuts of foliage that you have, you know, that way it doesn't have to be all like proper pieces. Or again, if you had some faxy leaves, like short little faxy leaves like that, again, you could add a couple of them in. So finish off the backs of your arrangements. Like even in a flower shop, if somebody went in and they picked up that arrangement, there's a good chance that they'll turn around and they will look at the back of it as well. Like if you went in and you bought a pair of knickers or a pair of jocks, you would lift up the hanger and you turn them around to see, are they a G-string, are they going to cut the arse off you, or will they give you a bit of coverage? Well, people are going to be exactly the same with their flower arrangements, and there's nothing as bad as seeing a big lump of floral foam at the back. And anyway, this poor Elvin that's in the far bed, she may not have got any flowers. So you often have, now I know this is a stem of lilies, but sure listen, a broken head of a flower, and just give her something to look at, like nobody loves her, do you know that way? So just to give her a little flower there to look at, and again, in case there's somebody in the side bed here, we better cover in the sides of it as well.
Sharon just asked Janette, what's the best florist scissors that you recommend?
Personally, I think one of the Oasis brand scissors are great, but maybe Sue has the link. There's a Japanese scissors out there, I can't think of the name of it, has a pink handle. Maybe one of the girls watching might actually know. And it's an absolute brilliant scissors, and we had 3 of them here at the school, but they're much smaller than our other scissors. And what happened when we gathered up different stages, it all didn't happen on the same day, as we gathered up the foliage off the table, it got thrown out. Or it's either that or Deirdre brought home, I don't know which anyway. But anyway, the 3 Japanese scissors are gone missing, and they were absolutely...
And they're expensive.
They are expensive, yeah. So there is a link and you can buy them off Amazon. So if somebody is watching and they know the name of the scissors, or they have the link, like feel free to share it there. Or if you think of it afterwards, put it over in the Flowery Fun group, would really, really appreciate it.
I see Wayne from the Lane Florist has joined in.
Yeah. So Wayne Richardson is one of our past students from a long, long time ago. He's not that old. He has
he's old enough.
He's old enough. He's a bit older than me. He looks older than me anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And he has opened his second amazing flower shop over in Drumcondra, and it's called The Lane Florist. And over the shop, it just says the word florist. So Wayne, maybe put your link in the comments there. Everybody pop over. I don't know whether he's looking for a partner.
Oh,
we could put him on our Tinder site as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think he is looking for a new partner, and we'll fix him up anyway. Yeah,
Heather said she's dying to know who has won. But first of all, let's call out the winners of the Christmas course. So Janette, give me a number between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 and 10.
Well, you know what I'm always going to pick? Number 2.
Number 2. Geraldine Cuscaden.
Oh,
okay.
I actually know Geraldine.
Give me another number.
Okay, number 7.
Number 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is Una O'Sullivan.
So
they're the 2 people. If you're living in Ireland, you can come to the... You can either do both. You can do one or the other. You can
either do the online course if you don't want to travel, or you don't want to have to look at us and listen to us, or you can come and do the classroom-based course if it suits you, and you do want to buy us a drink, because remember there's going to be a bar in the room.
There's going to be a bar. And okay, so these are the next names of the 10 names I had. I had Caroline Pom Pom, you're on Instagram. Geraldine Cuscaden, we've already got you. Sarah Marr, Valerie Mooney, Rockway Trays ANYC, Magella Wilson, so we got her, Flower Shed, Lisa Crow, and Debbie's Gardening Journey. You guys are going to get something in the post, so drop us an email today or tonight, info@flowerschoolireland.com with your home address, and we're just going to send you just a little booby prize.
Booby?
A booby.
Between Mickey's pussies and boobies there now. Come on.
Sackigan scissors. That's the name of them.
Fair play to you. Thanks a million. So it's in the comments there. Anybody that's looking for the
and Sue Whale has put up a link for them as well.
Brilliant. And Sue, pop over to Instagram and put it on the Instagram ones as well for us. Thanks a million.
Okay, are we ready?
Do nothing. Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. I have to. Oh Jesus, I can't find her name.
It'll be all right on the night.
It'll be all right on the night. See, I'm not used to this. I'm used to being behind the camera. Okay, so first of all, when we decided had to choose a winner, we went through every aspect of the application. So we went from their nominations, we went from their video that they sent in. We looked to see, did they watch the Flower Crown course that they got for free? And this person watched it twice, because we can see that at the back end. And actually, one part of it, she'd actually watched it 3 times. So
I think she's a bit slow.
But go on. Good job, it's an online course. So we whittled it down to 2 or 3, and then finally on Tuesday night we says, okay, we're going to have to, and we put them into we had a little WhatsApp group, and we all came out with the same person. So we're really delighted with the person.
We would have loved to give it to all 11, but obviously it's not possible.
We just couldn't.
We'd be out of a job. We'd have no money.
We'd have no money, absolutely. So first of all, the person that's going to be the runner-up, okay? So the drum roll. The person that's the runner-up that's getting a free Module 1 program that they can do anytime between now and December. So whichever Module 1 course is Diana in Croydon.
That was the girl that done all the videos.
Yes.
Fair play to Diana. And I absolutely loved the way she took me off.
She did.
In a very nice way.
In a very nice
way. Fill in, and we cop on spots, and the Elwyn in the other bed, and once a student decays, always a student decays. She had all my sayings. Like, I think she's looking for my job, actually.
I think she is. Actually, maybe we shouldn't give it to her. Maybe she might open a school over in Croydon. Jesus, then we really vexed. Okay, so then we're coming on to the winner. So this winner was nominated actually quite a few times. Her video was so touching. It was passionate about becoming independent. It was so evident. She was a huge supporter of Case. She has been a huge supporter of Case Flower School. We have seen her name coming up on numerous occasions, on commenting on lives, on sharing things. I think she's actually won a couple of spot prizes.
Is she watching tonight?
I actually did not see that. Actually didn't see it. No, did you say I didn't see if she's watching? We gave the 5 finalists, as we said, the 25 finalists, the Flower Crown course. So as I said, she watched it more than once.
She was listening.
She actually made quite a few Flower Crowns for the UK Crowns for Ukraine appeal. We felt this person, and this was really hard, but we felt that this person would utilise the sponsorship or the scholarship as much as Heather did. Like when we see how life-changing it was for Heather, and we really feel that this person, it'll be as life-changing for you. So our winner is...
I can't read it. I haven't got my glasses.
Noreen Irwin. Mallow in County Cork.
Oh, Corkorian.
So congratulations, Noreen.
Huge congratulations,
We should have rang our family and told them to video or when we were doing it.
Yeah, we should have, yeah.
But yeah, no, she was just, you know what, it was heartfelt. The video was heartfelt, everything she did. And like, look at, everybody was amazing. So many, and it really was hard to choose. But as we said, everybody else, so Diana, you're going to get the Module 1 program, and everybody else of our 11 finalists is going to get a €200 voucher towards any course. But Module 1, for it to be used this year, is probably the most suitable. Although there is one person who's done Module 1 already, so you can use it towards Module 2. But yeah, so there you go. So huge thanks for everybody for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you picked up a few little tips. Hope I didn't talk too much. What about the tagline? They never got the tagline. Oh, the tagline, they did. And I need to go back now to find out What was? Oh, no small Mickeys in K's.
So no small Mickeys and K's. We're all big Mickeys and K's, we are. That was actually a girl called Sinead.
Yeah.
And when she actually texted me this morning, I thought she was our Sinead. And I said, oh, God, that's great. Fair play to you. That's brilliant. Thinking our Sinead had got a convulsion during COVID and had come up with this brilliant tagline. Listen, thanks a million for joining. We're going to be rushing off. We're actually heading over to the Circular Pub. We're not going drinking. The Circular Pub across the road from K's Flower School, because they're interviewing us tonight and we're doing a demonstration class over there. So listen, we will be on again next week. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. We'd love if you shared it. You know the way, I know it's not a class as such. We would love if you shared. If you do have any questions, put them in the comments. Sinead will be at home all day with COVID tomorrow and she'll respond to anybody. And if there's any links that you need or any queries or whatever, put it all in the comments and somebody will answer you. So goodbye, good luck, have a fabulous evening, everybody.
And watch this space because you'll be tracking Noreen's journey.
Absolutely. And we'll probably post our video tomorrow morning. So anybody that missed it, they can watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, love yous and leave yous, everybody. Bye bye. Good night.